Hello and welcome back to part 3 of our London journey. Looking back over those first 2 parts, it's amazing how many different people from all over the world have similar opinions to climate change and their governments not doing enough to combat climate change. If you haven't seen those 2 parts, do click here and watch them for yourself. What do you think of the UK's response to climate change?
Excellent.
At the moment, do you think it's going well?
Yeah, it's going very well.
In what ways?
I don't know. The last 20 years, I think the UK has managed to increase its economic output by something like 60 or 70%, while slashing reductions slashing emissions of carbon emitting gases by something like 2/3. So I can't think of any country that's done as much as the UK so far. And of course, there is much more to do.
They are responding. I don't know if it's enough, but certainly as time goes, I assume it will be enough to go with our governments and countries.
You think they could be doing more then? They should be doing a lot more in terms of reducing emissions and...
Certainly that can be done.
Mostly burying their head, I'd say. I'm trying to find ways to keep it concise. I think there doesn't seem to be much by way of active rectifying of the situation or actively targeting all the science that is out there. That is my only way I can keep it concise.
Yes, agree.
It's good. Then what about yourself personally? What do you do to reduce your own emissions?
Because I live in London, it's very easy. I don't have a car. So it means I walk, I cycle, or I take the tube to wherever I need to go.
I commute by bike.
I don't drive. I walk everywhere. I don't get the tube unless I have to. I recycle. I sort of firmly believe there's not very much individual can do other than try your best.
Yeah. So we both work in film, and there are really amazing organisations like Albert who sort of work hard to make sure that productions are sustainable. So they go through every element of the production, make sure that every element of that is sustainable, and we have to then send off a report as along with proof as to what we've done to make sure that every department has been working and acting sustainably. And then what happens is if you don't meet their quota, you then have to pay, fine is the wrong word, but you pay an amount to offset the carbon footprint. So stuff like that and day-to-day working, I guess.
Just in terms of transitioning to clean energy and clean ways of living, do you think a hybrid approach is the way forward to push people into making better choices, like hybrid cars or hybrid heating, just before taking the big plunge?
Yes, I only agree to that in the extent that there's not much that, if I don't, how do I say this? If all petrol stations were moved and completely replaced with electric charging stations, then I guess everyone would be more than happy to go into hybrid. But I guess it's not so much about the mentality side of it. It's making it easier for, people to live in a sustainable fashion. So I guess by its nature, hybrid is a good middle point.
I see. Well, I don't know. It might well be. I think the most important thing is that we make a case to bring everybody together on this journey. So we wouldn't want at some point the country to, consensus to break down because people believe it's too much or too soon, too fast. So I think it requires a lot of narrative, leadership by government to explain, but to do things at a pace which is not a breakneck pace.
I've worked in the automotive industry. Yes, I don't think that the technology is good enough yet to take the deep plunge, and a lot of people wouldn't afford.
Now we've heard their views, and we've heard the great response that they've had to our questions. Now we want to know what you think. Please do let us know in the comments any of your responses to any of the questions that we've asked throughout these videos, and thank you for watching.